I didn't get my first laptop until I was a freshman in college because of a scholarship that was provided to me. The devices that we hand out impact 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 16-year-olds, so they get an experience that I didn't get to experience.
So there's 14 million households across the United States that still are on the wrong side of the digital divide, meaning that they don't have access to a computer or high-speed internet access at home. When we look at Houston, that disparity looks like about 330,000 households across the greater Houston area. And when we compare that nationally to cities like Chicago or Los Angeles, or even more rural regional communities like Dayton, Ohio, or Midland, Odessa, parts of West Texas, we can see that Houston is actually doing a reasonably good job in taking a stand to address the digital divide overall. Programs like ours, which deploy device access as well as free connectivity services, digital literacy skills, and workforce-aligned tech education programs, certainly do a lot. But it's really the ecosystem of nonprofit organizations that come together in Houston to make sure that community members are getting everything that they need as it relates to the digital divide and solving for digital equity.
I mean, it's really hard, it's hard because a lot of things you can't do without internet access nowadays, and if you don't have any type of support system or, any type of connection to where you can get it, if you have the money to, pay for it or whatnot. So it's really a struggle. It's really a struggle.
That's like common.
Yeah, so one of the most significant challenges to solving the digital divide across Houston, as well as in some other cities, is just awareness of resources and services that are out there. We continue to hear from parents and caregivers about their children getting school-based devices, both internet access and computers. And while those are great for distance learning, they don't actually solve the digital divide because they're content restricted. And so, if a family is trying to do workforce skills development training for mom and dad, and the only computer and internet that they have at home is what their daughter brings home from school, many times they won't be able to access any of that coursework. So it's the same as not having access to a computer or internet connection at home at all. And so for families to find resources like ours, where you get access to a free computer and free internet that's not content restricted, but with parental education, is really a lifesaver, and that's what actually closes the divide, because they get to use these devices to meet whatever needs they have, be it financial literacy, health literacy, telemedicine, accessing, when the food bank food distribution schedule is going to have events that they can access. Just the myriad of content and knowledge that's beyond reach if you don't have your own computer and internet connection at home.
Like, how do I use this for school, for life, for work, for, as a senior citizen, for my telehealth and so on? And so the buckets are, I have to be able to afford the service and afford the device. I have to be able to use it and maximize the sort of the potential of it. And then I have to also be able to sort of keep a pace with all of the things that are becoming technology and digitally centered, so that like all of this I don't become obsolete in it anyway. So it's almost like a moving target. And what we're doing here is putting all of the pieces of the ecosystem together, which I find so fascinating. And so CompuDot is focused on providing the devices, providing the instructions, providing the internet via Mission Telecom, which is where we enter into the ecosystem, providing the training, whether it's from elementary school all the way to adults, and then creating that support that even if you did have a problem, that you have a whole bunch of people that you can call and say, hey, I have this problem, can you help me out? Which is always sort of the last piece that then you end up having this friend down the street, can you help me with this issue? That they have a whole system that can help, once you get up and going.
There are about 1,000 different ways that you can get involved in solving this problem right alongside us. And of course, that always looks like philanthropy. We're a nonprofit. We accept gifts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But one of the more impactful ways beyond that you can get involved, if writing a check isn't for you, is to come and volunteer. And the opportunity to come and volunteer, or even donate your old computer that's sitting in your closet that you haven't known what to do with, is a really, really meaningful way to give back into this community. Those devices come in, you can help us refurbish them. They get right back out into the community once they've met our quality standards, and you can be a part of the movement to solve the digital divide.